Matthew Hoover is a political prisoner. I made a video a little while back about CRS Firearms, Matt Hoover, and Justin Irving, who was the guy that actually made the auto key cards. We'll briefly go over what happened there, but I think people mostly know. But in the last video, I got a lot of comments from people that to me seemed very anti-Second Amendment. And you don't have to agree with everything Matt Hoover did. You know, I do think that he made some not the smartest moves on his YouTube channel. But at the same time, we have a First Amendment and a Second Amendment. And the right to free speech is protected under that First Amendment. And you know what? The Second Amendment, he actually was an FFL SOT. And he didn't transfer any machine guns like they say he did. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. I actually made a different video for today, and I decided to re-record and do this instead because I think it's that important. Plus, there is some new information that came to light that I didn't know about until very recently, and I think it's worth it to just keep bringing this up because, for one thing, Donald Trump does have the power to pardon Matt Hoover, and he absolutely should. When I say he's a political prisoner, I do mean that. So, briefly, we're going to go over what happened. The auto key card. It was a piece of metal the size of a business card. It had a lightning link etched on it, drawn on it. This other guy, Justin Irving, manufactured them. He paid Matt Hoover, CRS Firearms, who had a YouTube channel, to promote them on his channel, just like companies have paid me to promote stuff. You'll see my ad in just a minute for Aura. Matt Hoover promoted it. Now, in his promotional materials and the videos that he did say some things that were questionable. But in my opinion, things that are protected under the Second Amendment. And the thing is that when they arrested him for this, the whole thing was that he was, conspiring to sell machine guns. But they had machinists with 20 years experience cut these things out, try to put them in AR-15s, and they didn't function. They couldn't make them function, and they admitted that to the court. And the court still somehow convinced a jury that doesn't understand how firearms work to convict Matt Hoover. They made him out to be this guy that was spreading illegal machine guns to the masses, when that's absolutely not what he was doing. Whether he thought the auto key cards worked or not, they didn't work. They did not function. They were not machine guns. And in fact, even to make it into a functional lightning link, it was metal that you still had to cut. And the dimensions were not correct. So it wouldn't work in anybody's gun. And they still put this guy away for 5 years in prison. A guy that is not a threat to anybody, that is not violent, that is a husband and a father, and now, come to find out, has terminal cancer. And that's the big thing to me right now. I mean, he should be freed no matter what. I've made multiple videos in the past about this. Every so often, I feel like making another video and bringing it up. This might be the first one I've made since Trump got elected. But Donald Trump, part of what he got elected on was his stance on the Second Amendment. And I know that his past on the Second Amendment in his first term was not ideal. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But compared to Joe Biden, he is much less anti-gun. The Joe Biden administration went after gun owners very aggressively. Went after FFLs, went after people like Matt Hoover with a YouTube channel saying what he wanted to say, poking the ATF bear. And they won. They locked him up. But you know what? He's already served a couple of years at this point away from his family, and he needs to go home. And I think that we can do something about that. So this video is sponsored by Aura. Keep yourself private and protected on the internet with a VPN, a virtual private network. You go on the internet and nobody can track you or know who you are. So if you do happen to say things like Matt Hoover did, the ATF won't come knocking on your door. But they do a whole lot more than just that. Aura gives you all of your online security in one easy to use app for only $12 a month. But if you use my link, aura.com/sawtoothtactical, you get to try it out absolutely free for 2 weeks, 14 days, see if it's worth $12 a month to you or not, and decide if you want to keep it or not. If you do, you get so much. So the biggest thing to me is data broker removal, but also spam and scam blocking. Like, I don't get any scam calls anymore. I don't get spam calls. I don't get emails that I don't want. That's really nice. When I open my email, it's only the emails that I'm supposed to get. And that's because of Aura. But they scour the entire internet. And they look for any data brokers that have your information, because data leaks do happen and your information is out there. They submit opt-out requests on your behalf, and then you stop getting scam calls. You stop getting spam calls. It's really, really nice. To me, totally worth $12 a month just for that. But they also give you password manager. They give you, like I said, a VPN, home title monitoring. They give you antivirus software, spam and junk mail removal, 3-bureau credit monitoring, scam call protection, and so much more. All of it, again, for only $12 a month. But use my link to try it out absolutely free for 2 weeks, 14 days. See if you want to keep it or not. You got nothing to lose. Aura.com/sawtoothtactical. So I think that the Matt Hoover case is something worth doing something about. And you guys can all help, and so can I, and that's part of the point of making this video. Whether you agree with the way Matt Hoover went about things or not, I think we can all agree that what he was convicted of is a totally victimless crime. And now it turns out that he has terminal cancer. And he has petitioned the court to let him out early because of that. They have something called compassionate release. And it's for specifically these types of situations where somebody wouldn't be able to get the kind of care that they need for, a disease, something like that, while they're in prison, and so they let them out early. Well, he has petitioned for that, but of course the prosecutor is totally against it. And this prosecutor, apparently, from the little bit of research I did before this video, apparently this prosecutor pushed the trial out because she was getting her own cancer treatment. But yet she doesn't believe that Matt Hoover deserves to have the same thing. Now, he has already served a couple years for literally just making YouTube videos promoting a product again, that was just a metal card with a picture of a lightning link on it. A lightning link that even when the government people that were there to prove that he was selling machine guns, when they cut him out and installed him in firearms, they couldn't get him to function. To me, it is absolutely insane that he even got convicted and locked up in the first place. But he's been sitting rotting in prison, and he will continue to rot in prison unless something is done. And the beginning of this video, I said Donald Trump does have the power to pardon him. He does. That's one of the things that the president can do. We need to get it to Donald Trump that he needs to do this. And Donald Trump is he's not a gun guy. I'm sure he doesn't understand the intricacies of auto sears, lightning links, what the auto key card really was, even what Matt Hoover did. But somehow we need to educate him. And whether that is calling and emailing all of our senators and representatives, the White House, whatever it takes, I think that this is worth doing something about. And if you guys think it is, let me know down in the comments. Like I said, I was actually planning on doing a totally different video today, but I decided that this was more important. It's already terrible that Matt has had to be away from his family for a couple years over something that he didn't even think he was breaking the law. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't have made those YouTube videos and said what he said if he thought it was going to get him locked up for 5 years. When you're breaking the law, you try to hide it. You don't put it on YouTube. So I don't think he even thought he was breaking the law. And I feel sorry for people, whether they broke laws or not, that lose part of their lives locked up in prison, years out of their lives. We only get so many years to live. And you want to be able to make the most of the time that you have alive on this earth. And he's already lost that. Well, it looks like, sadly, his time on this earth might not be that long anyway. I'm not sure exactly what kind of cancer he has, but I've seen it from like 3 different sources just in the last couple days that he has terminal cancer. So let's try to do what we can to get him out and back with his family, at least for whatever time he has left. If you guys agree with me, again, let me know down in the comments. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments, but I don't really see how you can. If you believe in the First Amendment, if you believe in the Second Amendment, I mean, it doesn't make sense that Matt Hoover is locked up for this. And especially with the whole Compassionate Care Act thing, like, let's get him out. That's why I'm making this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.